There are newly revealed developments in the investigation into the mysterious deaths of 8 Jeff Davis Parish women. Law enforcement officers are now having their DNA tested. KPLC's Brandon Richards joins us now with more. Brandon, I understand that a private investigator is also having his DNA tested.
Yes, that's right, Lee. Kirk Menard was hired by families of the victims to help find answers into who's behind their loved ones' deaths. Menard says he voluntarily submitted his DNA, and he says he's happy law enforcement officials are now doing the same thing.
Anyone that's been involved in this investigation should be swabbed.
That's what Jeff Davis Private Investigator Kirk Menard has to say about submitting to a DNA test. Menard was hired by family members of the 8 women whose deaths remain a mystery.
The task force called me, asked me if I would consent, and I said sure, I have nothing to hide.
While Menard volunteered his DNA, law enforcement officials who work for agencies investigating the mysterious deaths have been required to submit their DNA so it can be compared to evidence in each of the cases. Sheriff Ricky Edwards says the DNA testing will help clear up gossip and rumors that a law enforcement officer may be involved in the serial killings. These rumors have only grown louder over the years, especially following scandals within the Jeff Davis Sheriff's Department. One detective was pulled from the investigation and fined $10,000 after it was revealed he purchased a vehicle from a potential witness. Another detective, Paula Guillory, lost evidence in one of the cases and was fired. Menard thinks having law officers submit their DNA is a good move.
I'm willing to be swabbed. I said I think law enforcement should be swabbed. I think the sheriff should be swabbed. Everyone involved in this investigation.
As for the investigation, Menard says he still has investigators on the streets in South Jennings recording nighttime video of women getting in and out of cars in case it's needed later. Menard says he still thinks local law enforcement need outside help. And he says there are a few people out there whose DNA he'd like to see get tested as well.
I have a few possibilities that I can't comment on, but from what I understand, they haven't been swabbed yet. I still send some reports to the task force and let them know my concerns on that.
Now, I also spoke with Sheriff Ricky Edwards over the phone today. He tells me that both former and current law enforcement officers are having their DNA tested. Edwards says the process will be long and continuous. Lee?
Thanks, Brandon. As you just heard in Brandon's story about the 2 task force detectives who were fined or fired, log on to KPLCTV.com and look for the tab Unsolved Mystery Deaths in Jeff Davis Parish and get the details on what led to the demotion and firing of both detectives.